Well, I think OneInch has a very unique characteristics. We build projects for ourselves, like where we see the pain and where our founders felt like, the market should do better. So Anton was regularly using different DEXs, and he knew that he has to check manually, like which one gives the best rate, Balancer, Uniswap, Kyber network. And he decided to, pursue the aggregation, to unite it within one interface. And it saves money. OneInch gives you the best rates. It's a killer, proposal, and that's why people use it all the time. And we see our metrics go up and up. So you have to fix your own pains, and then you'll find a way towards community.
Yeah. So there is pretty much no reason not to use OneInch, right?
Absolutely. If you want to save money, if you want to extract maximum value out of your tokens, that's the only way to go.
So when we are looking at the market data, we are observing, for example, on June Analytics, you can see from, I think it's from Anton's dashboard, that the volume going through the aggregators is only 20 to 25%. It doesn't grow, it doesn't fall. Why do you think it's on only such, I would say, a low amount?
Well, actually, if you look at the recent data, one of our other investors, IOSG, have come with a very detailed analysis on users who use cross-chain aggregation. And when we extract, bots or arbitrageurs and everyone who, pursues minor extractable value, we would get that almost 80% of people, retail people who swap in DeFi, they have touched or integrate or interacted with OneInch smart contracts. But volume-wise, liquidity sources like Uniswap, they always get rebalanced through those arbitrageurs, and they provide a ton of free exposure, free volume and metrics. And that's why for aggregators it's hard to catch up. We can only get potentially maximum 50%. But this is what we are aiming to do.
Yeah. So pretty much what you are saying is that the users are, most of them are going through OneInch, though if I'm a trading company or a bot, I go directly because that is how I can extract the most value, right?
So 80% of all people in DeFi has interacted with OneInch smart contracts. Maybe they don't do it regularly. Maybe they also try matches, they try Paraswap, they go to Uniswap as well. But they have exposure, they know what our product is like. And so we've hit this very high number.
And I think, Ethereum is the market leader. Where most of the volumes are generated. I saw there was roughly 400 million volume going through OneInch today. How is it on another chains? Because you guys are deployed on all EVM compatible chains.
Well, things on other chains could have been much better. Personally, I feel there are a lot of interesting things that are happening on Avalanche, for example, or Polygon. Real users, new use cases, different approaches to solve liquidity and other things. Yet, the volume isn't there. And the metrics are stagnating and actually falling behind. I would maybe outline Binance Smart Chain, because Binance Smart Chain has still very dedicated community and people who love the network, who look for gems on PancakeSwap, and they also know that OneInch can potentially provide the best rates. So I would say Binance chain is doing all right. The rest of the chains, they're doing great from technological perspective, but not so good volume-wise and user-wise.
Mm-hmm. And let's come back to Ethereum. When we look at the overall DEX market, there is 80% of the volume pretty much consolidated on Uniswap v3. Yeah. So 4 out of 5 trades are going through Uniswap. What is the value proposition in such a heavily dominated market of OneInch?
So Uniswap does tremendous jobs for more experienced users like DeFi degens that can manage the just-in-time liquidity and come with really good strategies to preserve their capital and earn on top of it. Plus, there are some pools with extremely low fees. I believe there is a USDT, USDC pool with 5 basis points of fees, and it's way more competitive than fees on Curve or Balancer or any other platform. However, what we are observing is that institutional players, like big market makers, they want to tap into DeFi. They don't want to use like market makers, IMMs, automated market makers, because they're not flexible enough. And we see the rise of RFQ decks, projects like Hashflow, projects like Clipper, where you can have order books kind of style of operations. And when they come, they will certainly compete and put pressure on Uniswap and others.
So, I mean, look, I was looking at Hashflow and I tried personally, but it always felt like a competition to you. So, do you see the relationship as like synergistic as you have outlined rather than competitive?
I mean, crypto is so interesting in nature. All the relationships, they can be both complementary and competitive. With wallets, for example, that integrate us, they still like retail users and people who go into our dApp. But in the end, RFQs and platforms, they make exchange rates better. They increase liquidity, and then way 1inch can be more competitive and facilitate more like larger trades through our platform, reduce slippage. So I would say they are beneficial to everyone.
Coming back to the users, like the user base on 1inch is consolidating on around 100,000 monthly active users since the beginning of 2022. It doesn't fall, it doesn't grow. Where are you expecting the next, I would say, push for the new user base coming?
The first thing that newcomers do, they download a mobile wallet or like a browser wallet. And like wallet is a way to onboard new users, potentially through like some cool features, NFT drops. Truth to be told, DeFi companies in general, not 1inch, they didn't do a great job onboarding like new users onto the market. Only Uniswap, was the place which everyone heard of and where people go to like look for new tokens. But we don't see like Compound, Aave, anyone else onboarding new users. And our strategy is to, provide a top-notch experience with our mobile wallet and bring users through like gamify. We actually had a very cool mobile game where people could compete and earn tokens, and it was very popular. Like a lot of people came just for that.
So everybody in the audience should download a 1inch wallet, I guess.
Yes, if you haven't done it yet, 1inch wallet, and also if you don't have chips, we give everyone like chips with free tokens. Please do that.
And tell us more about the 1inch wallet onboarding process, because like having a wallet without the assets in it, it's not a good start. You probably want to get also some kind of like fiat on-ramp integration. Then it comes to question like how do you get the money there? Is it like by IBAN or credit card?
Yeah, so 1inch has non-custodial wallet. We allow multiple purchase solutions through companies like Mercurio, Transact, and few others. We're actually actively expanding our options. And there is a possibility to buy tokens directly through your credit card and then, play around with 1inch features. We've recently launched Android version, which is really new. And
And like generally, how do you see the 1inch wallet in the long run? I think, like, I'm not sure like how everybody else in the crowd, but I think like all the wallets suck like at this stage. Like it's really bad, and I mean you just try it out, like you just download like 10 and you realize like none of them like can service your needs.
Well, truth to be told, I feel like everything, not just like wallets, they suck. It's all the products, they're at infancy, we are like web 1995 when the companies like America Online, Yahoo, Netscape exist and dominate the market. And the really, really good solutions have not yet been launched and built. We only see like first versions, first iterations. Every now and then I stumble upon a small project that is tremendously more efficient than its predecessors. And this is exciting. We are still extremely early. Like we will see more wallets, more smart wallets like Argent, with...
Hi.
Yeah, so like a lot of cool things.
Yeah, another thing I'm also like kind of curious, and what I like about you guys at One I mean, you just want to solve the problem in I would say in a good satisfaction for the user, that it's like a really good, I would say, user experience, and that's how you started, and I think that's how you will continue as well. Like if you look at the existing on-ramp solutions, I mean, I don't like them too much to go via a credit card, because like you always pay like 1 to 5% on the fee. Do you have any like special trick in hand how this could be like mitigated? If I put my card into the like MoonPay or Transact, you know, the fee is kind of high, like it's in percent. I would expect like basis points. That's why I never do it and go through Kraken, for example. But that's not very user friendly, I would say.
Well, I mean, we haven't yet tapped into fiat market. Yet, you know, there is a chance maybe it should be the end game. Maybe like majority of people, they want to buy and trade crypto assets not between each other, but like with fiat currencies. And maybe like in 1 year time, we will figure out that we should, you know, open up bank accounts and make, you know, more KYC and like more institutional grade product offerings. It's hard to, you know, reduce those numbers. I feel like every good company tries, you know, like that operates in fiat sphere, they want to lower it down. But, you know, the fees on Ethereum blockchain and all the other blockchains, they're very expensive. You have to pay fees to like custodians. You have to facilitate, you know, security level, and the costs are very high.
Yeah, let's come back to the One core product. So right now One is deployed on pretty much all EVM compatible chains, but it's a separate instance for each ecosystem. How are you thinking about the integrations? Because like if I am a customer, I want to get the best execution across all chains regarding where I am based, like, and I want like all the liquidity to be considered, not just Ethereum liquidity or Avalanche or BSC separately. So what's your strategy
so
to
for
address
like
this?
cross-chain operations?
Yes.
Okay. So when we think about the end game, like what is the end game for aggregators or like trading engines? And there can be like possibly like two scenarios that we see and analyze. One of them is you become the API. You become the like the best execution on every chain, and then other protocols built on top of it. And they integrate you, and you receive your volume and the metrics passively through just people interacting natively with like blockchain and your smart contracts. So you can become an API and do not take the risks of, you know, building more complex like bridges and cross-chain things. So this is like one way. Another way is to actually tap into a cross-chain trading activity and build your own infrastructure and your own, you know, protocols that, you know, connect everything we've built already and provide this user experience. People certainly want second way, but our founders believe that technology is not yet there, that it's very risky. It's, you know, people can lose money. It's not unsafe. You know, majority of hacks this year happened because of, you know, bridges inefficiencies. And we don't want to top it. You know, the risks are too high. We are doing great with things we've built already. And we will wait until we can provide similar like atomic security and efficiency that we do on every single chain in a cross-chain sphere. But this is like two options of the end games that we see, being like an API for everyone, or being like a front end platform for everyone. We haven't yet decided. Maybe we can do both in the future, but currently, you know, we are not tapping actively into this sphere in particular.
So can you elaborate a little bit more on what are the key challenges when doing the cross-chain liquidity aggregation?
Well, there are so many economic and technological like attack vectors. Every blockchain is slightly different, and, you know, making sure that the states of the blockchains, different blockchains like Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain, change simultaneously is hard. It's kind of like impossible. And, you know, there is a chance that a transaction goes right on one chain and like suddenly fails on another because like the pool rebalanced, the token price changed, or I don't know, the project or something was like hacked and it just is not operational anymore. So those are the key risks. I think I'm the wrong person to talk about interoperability and like technical aspects. I'm not very technical, and Anton, our CTO, he knows all about that, and we usually take his word for granted.
What about the next developments of 1inch? What are the fans of 1inch and the active users? What they can expect like coming out in a near future?
Well, we are working on ways how to make swaps more efficient. So I would expect a pretty big announcement within like 1 or 2 months that would certainly make fees and overall activity a little bit more pleasant. But this is currently under radar. We are not disclosing like what exactly we're gonna do. We are working actively on 1inch Pro, that a protocol for institutionals that would allow permissioned pools and trading for QIC customers with AML liquidity, and we want to dive into like several new protocols which we haven't yet announced.
So the institutional liquidity is kind of interesting. So is the design meant the way that only the KYC counterparties will be able to trade between each other? So that will be like two isolated ecosystems?
Yes, you're absolutely right. You won't be able to interact with it without a certain onboarding process. Yes, it will be like fully closed. And
okay, interesting. So you are pretty much getting like a completely new customer segment to use 1inch.
Yes, we are discussing with a lot of different traditional companies, fintech companies, banking companies, and others. They have a ton of interest into DeFi. We just have to find a way how to, mitigate all the risk and create this, efficient, transparent environment for them.
Okay. And coming back to the first message, in terms of the fee optimization, is it a gas reduction on execution of the trade, or is there any other optimization you have in mind?
A ton of new things. We always focus on making our rates the most competitive on the market, and I cannot disclose more.
Yeah, so you don't want to. I mean, I understand. So, like the audience can guess. Anything else you would like to add?
No, just thank you everyone for coming. Hope you guys are having a great time. We will have some drinks and food later on. Appreciate you guys being here.
So thank you very much, everybody, and have a great evening.